Katie Olivia Hopkins is one of The Sun's weekly columnists and former British reality television contestant. She appeared on the third UK series of TV reality programme The Apprentice, but turned down a place in the finals, however still having made herself memorable for controversial comments. She also took part in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here on ITV, and has since made various other media appearances. Early life: she was born in Barnstaple, Devon, the second daughter of Roy Hopkins and Anona C.O. Kroll on February 13, 1975, and Chris and Katie Olivia. She attended a private convent school from age 3 to 16. After A-levels she studied economics at the University of Exeter, sponsored by the Intelligence Corps. Hopkins went on to complete her military training at Saunchurst, where she participated in the Sovereign's Parade that marked the passing out of the cadets. However, Hopkins could not take up her commission due to being diagnosed with epilepsy. Personal life: Katie Hopkins' first husband was Damien G.D. McKinney, a former Royal Marine, founder and chief executive of the business execution company McKinney Rogers in September 2004 in Exeter. Hopkins and McKinney separated shortly after the birth of their second daughter Poppy in 2005 and subsequently divorced. After her involvement in The Apprentice, Hopkins took up a job at the Met Office in Exeter. Here, she met Mark Cross, a married design manager. This was widely reported in the tabloid press. In 2010, her marriage to Cross was filmed as part of the reality game show 4 Weddings, which is shown on the satellite and cable channel Sky Living. She continues to suffer from epileptic fits. The Apprentice: in 2006, Hopkins appeared in Series 3 of the reality TV show The Apprentice, in which contestants compete for a £100,000 a year job working for British businessman Alan Sugar. The opening episode of the series, broadcast on March 28, 2007, attracted over 4 million viewers. She received particular media attention due to her outspoken opinions of the other contestants. She rejected Sir Alan Sugar's offer of a place in the final episode of the programme, citing problems regarding childcare provision for her daughters, and withdrew from the competition at the end of the penultimate task. The episode pulled in 6.2 million viewers, while the following You're Fired episode, in which Hopkins was interviewed, was watched by 3.1 million. Hopkins was the project manager of her team on The Apprentice for 2 tasks, in Week 2 and again in Week 9. Her team won both of these tasks. She was criticized by Sugar for being a loser, due to her being on the losing team frequently. She defended herself by responding that whenever she led, her team won. Contestants Adam Hosker and Gazel Asif brought Hopkins back to the boardroom in Weeks 7 and 8 of the competition, both failing to get her fired. Comments and views: comments were aimed not just at her fellow contestants but also at viewers of television shopping channels, maternity leave, the overweight and people with the names Mavis and Derek. She insisted in her You're Fired interview that, although these comments might have been offensive to some, it was only in the name of comedy, and suggested that she just needed to vent a bit. Response: Hopkins emerged as a hate figure in the media, during her time on the programme. The tabloid press criticised her. 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Notting Hill writer Richard Curtis expressed his distaste for Hopkins, jokingly vowing to kill her when he accepted his fellowship award at the 2007 BAFTA Awards. Her fellow contestants have questioned why she took part in the programme. Simon Ambrose, a fellow contestant, told Nuts magazine that he once had a crush on her, and also criticised Katie's much-publicised personal life as he came from a broken home. Hopkins, like all other Apprentice candidates, appeared on the accompanying spin-off programme, The Apprentice: You're Fired, receiving a mixed response from the studio audience. When video clips of her comments about other candidates were shown, Hopkins explained that they were quite funny. Michelle Mon, the founder of lingerie company, Ultimo, a guest on the panel, verbally attacked Hopkins, calling her exceptionally selfish, and made remarks such as "You've given businesswomen a bad name." Sexism controversy: Sugar's questioning Hopkins about her childcare arrangements led to his being accused of sexism by the Trade Union Congress, the Equal Opportunities Commission and the Recruitment and Employment Confederation. He was accused of violating the 1975 Sex Discrimination Act. This incident created controversy and was well documented in the media. Sugar argued his case in an interview with GMTV host Fiona Phillips, stating that he was well aware of the rules. Aftermath. After her appearance on The Apprentice, Hopkins signed 2 exclusive deals to sell her story, a newspaper deal with the News of the World and a magazine deal with the MAP, the company behind Heat and Grazier magazines. Hopkins said in an interview with BBC Radio Kent that she had great respect for Sugar, and that she believed she would have won the programme had she been in the final episode. She also said that the media's attitudes towards her did not affect her, but did affect her family. When talking to Fiona Phillips in an interview aired on GMTV Today on the morning of the final Apprentice episode, Hopkins suggested that, had she accepted Sugar's offer of a place in the final, she would have emerged victorious, although Sugar had said that if she wanted to press on he would fire her, whoever she was competing with. Hopkins told BBC Radio 1 that she has not yet ruled out a media career but expressed interest in starting a business venture. She appeared in an episode of 8 out of 10 Cats and was also a guest star on Loose Women and The Friday Night Project. Hopkins wrote a column for the Express and Echo newspaper in Exeter, much to the criticism of its readers, but was eventually asked to leave after a poll was put onto the publication's website asking if she should continue in the post. In 2007 she presented a 5 Live report on family life and working mothers for BBC Radio 5 Live, and contributed an article on the same subject to BBC Online. Met Office firing. Hopkins worked at the Met Office for a time but was dismissed in early 2007. A Met Office statement said that she did not meet the required standards to complete her probationary period, and confirmed that her performance on The Apprentice and confessions about her private life were a factor in her dismissal. Hopkins later stated that the media were informed of her dismissal only an hour after she was fired and that she believes she was used as a scapegoat. Business career. Hopkins is often introduced as a businesswoman in television appearances, and refers to herself in her media articles as an employer in a small business. That business is Katie Hopkins Limited, a company classified as a business and management consultancy, based in Exeter, Devon, and incorporated on June 21, 2007. Hopkins is the sole shareholder and only director, with her husband, Mark Cross, acting as company secretary. As of June 30, 2013 the company had run at a net loss since June 2009, had a negative net worth of £13,968, and had zero declared turnover during the previous 2 years. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Hopkins joined the 2007 series of I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. As a replacement for Malcolm McLaren, who dropped out just before the show started. Classism controversy. Hopkins caused further controversy in July 2013 during an appearance on ITV's This Morning, when she revealed that she judges her children's classmates based upon their given names. She revealed a particular dislike for the names Tyler and Chardonnay, which met with disapproval from host Holly Willoughby and was widely described as classism on Twitter. Hopkins claimed that she did not like geographical location names despite the fact that she had given the name India to one of her daughters, stating that India is not related to a location. At that time she was a columnist for British tabloids The Sun. Although other newspapers' comments about her include faux posh imbecile, an insufferable snob and a low-life super bitch, accusing her of generating outrage on demand, she described herself as a conduit for truth, declaring what other people think but are too scared to say. Appearing as a panelist on Channel 5's The Big Benefits Row, Live in February 2014, she was accused by Terry Christian amongst others of only expressing her controversial opinions in order to make money from media appearances. 2013 Glasgow helicopter crash remarks. Hopkins posted a tweet referencing Scottish life expectancy based upon a 2011 NHS report, Healthy Life Expectancy in Scotland, update of trends to 2010. This tweet was posted following a heated debate on Scottish independence on The Right Stuff where Hopkins was on the panel. In the wake of the 2013 Glasgow helicopter crash, the tweet raised widespread condemnation among Twitter users. Hopkins retorted following independence, "I will only be the biggest bitch in England," and described people's reactions as PC-tastic. Hopkins issued an apology the following Monday reinstating that her original remark was in reference to the NHS report and was simply bad timing. Other controversies and feuds. Hopkins has been involved in feuds with numerous celebrities including Peaches Geldof, Lily Allen, Sam Bailey, Rebecca Ferguson and Gemma Collins. In March 2014, Hopkins was criticised for her criticism of English trade union leader Bob Crow hours after the announcement of his death. She was also criticised for not acknowledging the death of Peaches Geldof, whom she had been involved in an ongoing feud with. However, she later acknowledged Geldof's death, but her appearance on Celebrity Juice was postponed due to Geldof's death. Hopkins also came under fire for criticising singer Lily Allen's weight gain following her 2 pregnancies. Allen was publicly defended by Rebecca Ferguson and Katie Price. She has also criticised Ramadan, advocated the banning of the burqa and has claimed she would prefer her son to be gay, as he could give her hairstyle tips. Political life. Katie Hopkins stood for MEP for the South West England constituency as an independent candidate. She polled 8,971 votes or 0.6% of the total votes cast. She planned to stand in 2014 for the We Demand a Referendum party. Hopkins appeared on Question Time on 10 June 2010 and 27 January 2011. She also appeared on the Young Voters version of Question Time on October 20, 2010. She appeared on an episode of 10 O'Clock Live on April 24, 2013 alongside Theo Paphitis and Owen Jones to defend the legacy of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who had died that month, and to debate tax policies and the division of wealth amongst UK citizens. References. External links: The Apprentice at the BBC, Katie Hopkins Limited at Company Check, Katie Hopkins at the Internet Movie Database.